Welcome to What the Tech, where we cut through the hype and just give you the news you can actually use. Today, we are talking about something I bet you didn't see coming, the wild comeback of old-school wired headphones. I know, it sounds kind of backward, right? We live in a world that's all about cutting the cord. So why on earth are some of the biggest stars on the planet suddenly plugging back in with a simple, cheap pair of headphones? Let's get into it. And look, this quote from Emma Watson really just says it all. This isn't some accident, it's a choice. And it's a feeling that you'll see is catching on with a lot more people than you'd think. Okay, so first up, let's look at how this piece of tech that most of us probably have tangled up in a junk drawer somewhere has suddenly become a full-on fashion statement. And just look at this list. This isn't one little group of people. We're talking supermodels like Bella Hadid, pop stars like Harry Styles, and even top-tier athletes from the NBA and the NFL. This trend is everywhere. And this is more than just a few random celebrity photos. It's become a whole documented movement. There's an Instagram account, Wired It Girls, dedicated to this look, and it's all about celebrating this vibe of effortless cool. The message is you don't need the newest, shiniest thing to be cool. Okay, so the fashion angle is one thing, but what's really interesting is that behind the cool factor, there are some super practical, totally logical reasons people are choosing the cord. So let's talk about the most obvious one first, money. If you want to grab a new pair of the most basic Apple AirPods, you're looking at a starting price of $159, and that's just to get in the door. Now compare that to your standard pair of wired Apple earbuds. We're talking around $25. That is a massive difference, and it makes wired headphones something literally anyone can afford. But listen, it's about so much more than just saving cash. Think about it. With wired headphones, you never, ever have to worry about charging them. There's no annoying Bluetooth pairing that fails half the time. And here's a big one. Your connection is physically secure. Nobody's hacking into your audio feed. And you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from the Lakers' Marcus Smart just sums it up perfectly. We've all been there, right? Your music cuts out, an earbud tumbles onto the sidewalk, or you realize the case is dead right as you're heading out the door. The wire just works. So, are you getting the signal here? If you're digging this breakdown, do us a huge favor and hit that subscribe button for What the Tech. And we really want to know what you think, so drop a comment below. Are you team wire or team wireless? All right, let's zoom out for a second because this whole headphone thing isn't happening in a vacuum. The return of the wire is actually part of a way bigger cultural shift, a sort of pushback against our crazy, always-online digital lives. Now, let's be totally clear, wireless isn't going anywhere. It's still the king, with about 2/3 of the market. But look at that other number, 34%. A third of the market is still choosing wired. That's huge, and it proves there's a real lasting demand for this stuff. And that demand fits right into this whole analog lifestyle trend. You see it everywhere. People are getting back into film cameras, listening to vinyl records. Some are even switching to dumb phones. It's all part of the same desire for things that are a little more real and a little less virtual. And here's the heart of it, really. In a world that's getting more and more about AI and digital everything, a lot of us are starting to crave something simple, something tangible that we can actually touch and feel. It's a search for something authentic. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Let's get to the final takeaway. Should you actually join the wired revival? So, if you're thinking, you know what, I'm in, here are 3 quick tips. 1, look for a pair with a strong, reinforced cable so it doesn't break in a week. 2, if your phone doesn't have a headphone jack, spend the extra few bucks on a certified adapter. Trust me, the cheap ones are a nightmare. And 3, remember, for the absolute best sound quality and for calls you know are private, wired is still the way to go. But let's be real, it's not all perfect. You are absolutely going to deal with tangled cables. It's just a fact of life. They're not as great if you're working out or moving around a lot. Most of the cheap ones don't have fancy features like noise cancellation. And yeah, you might have to carry that little adapter around. So here's the bottom line. This is the news you can use. Picking up a pair of wired earbuds today isn't just a practical, cheap choice. It's also a statement. It says you care more about reliability and simplicity than you do about having the latest bells and whistles. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As our tech gets crazier and AI starts running everything, maybe the smartest choice isn't always the most advanced one. Maybe it's just the one that works. In the age of AI, is simple the new smart? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.